All right, welcome back. There's the district attorney of Lafourche Parish, Cam Morvant, and I got to tell you why we're looking at him. So instrumental in getting the bad salts and the synthetic marijuana off the street. Now, they're trying to get it back on, and they're putting it back on the shelves, but I promise we're going to talk to him in a little bit. He's not too happy about it, and he'll let you know about that. But, Cam, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Martin. It's good to be back. I'm glad I have you here with me tonight.
Yeah.
Missed you last time.
Yeah, we had a little family matter.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm glad everybody's doing all right.
But thank you. Now, you have a big case coming up in Lafourche Parish. Can you talk a little bit about it? I know you're limited on what you can say.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about it. It's a week from this coming Monday, August 22nd. We start picking a jury, and it's excuse me. It's a case that's been it happened about 20 years ago. It was a killing of a priest in Thibodeau, Hunter Horgan. We're hopefully finally bringing it to some conclusion, and I'll start picking a jury on that case hopefully next Monday morning on the 22nd, and it should go for a few days, but it's been in our office for 5 years.
Right.
The arrest was made about 5 years ago, and we've had a lot of different motions and a lot of different issues that have come up, and we've gone back and forth between the district court, the courts of appeal, the Supreme Court, and actually the United States Supreme Court. And we finally got it back into district court, and as I said just a few minutes ago, I hope we get a jury pick next week after next and get it concluded.
I know you can't talk about the case, but how much energy does it take for your office to do these kind of cases? And it's got to just be a
lot.
Whole bunch of energy.
A lot. It's physical, but it's also a lot of mental. It's just dealing with files and when something is going on that long, obviously there's a lot of paperwork that's been generated, and we have a file that's approximately 700-something pages long, and so it's just going through all the different things that have occurred since August of 1992. We have a lot of people working on it in the office. We have Christine Russell. It's in Judge Johnny LeBlanc's division, and Christine's assigned to that division to do felonies. So, we've worked on the file. I have my investigators helping me. The Thibodeau Police Department's involved in it, the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, the Attorney General's office. So we have a lot of people, State Police Crime Lab, and we have a lot of people on board with us. So, we're gonna see what happens in the next week or so.
I watch all these TV shows where the DA is pointing everybody to go do their cases, but now with you still get active in all these cases.
Yeah, I still sometimes wonder why, but when it gets this close and the stress level kind of hikes up a little bit, but I truly enjoy it. I mean, I can't say I don't, and I said I was not going to do another one. In fact, you and I talked with you about that a couple of years ago after we finished the ABAD trial,
there
and you
came
by and did an interview.
Came back, didn't
yeah, it took a little while, but it came back. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna for the family, for the victims, they need some closure, one way or the other, and we're gonna let the system work. I mean, that's what it does. That's what I've been doing for 30 years. We present what we have, and we put 12 folks in the jury box, and they listen to it, and the people in Lafourche Parish do a good job. They make good decisions. They're very attentive during our trials, and so I'm looking forward just to getting in the courtroom and again concluding it and getting some closure for the victims.
Bad salts and synthetic marijuana. We had you on here. You and Joe Waits and
Right.
the DAs fought hard to get legislation passed.
Right.
You got it passed. It goes through. Governor signs it, and here we go again.
Yeah.
Bad salt's back on the shelf. That's got to be discouraging
It
to
is.
everybody.
It is. In fact, Mona told me I was busy most of the afternoon in some meetings, but she sent me a text that she had talked to you guys and said you wanted to talk about it. So I did call someone with our drug task force and to talk to them to see exactly what's going on, because I had talked to them before when I came in here last time. And unfortunately, it's what they've done is again just trying to get around what the statute is that it's still there. It's not there in the volume it was in before you started doing this. It's not. And they were telling me that a lot of merchants have voluntarily taken it off the shelf. You still have a few, but the way I interpret the statute, the way it's amended, it's a lot what we refer to in our profession is a lot broader than what the other statute was before it was amended. In other words, it gives us as prosecutors and law enforcement a lot more leadway to go in and put a stop to this.
So for the ones that are selling it, that almost are mocking everybody,
Yeah.
you do have an option whether or not you think you have some leeway to go in there and disrupt that a little bit?
Absolutely, and I've spoken to members of our drug task force and to our sheriff, and they're gonna, they're aggressively looking at some stores now, because what they did, all they did was that the groups of people that are manufacturing these products that are actually, what they're doing is, it's a business. It's like cocaine. Right. It's like marijuana. You got someone who grows it or someone who manufactures it, then they sell it to the upper echelon middleman, and that person distributes it out to the local distributor, and the local distributor then sends it out to the runners on the street. Well, what they're doing, they're manufacturing this product, they're giving it to someone who's trucking it into our parishes and selling it to the retail stores, the ones that want to put it on the shelf. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is that, these people have to know by now. You could almost kind of give some people the benefit of the doubt a few months ago when we came on about 3 months ago. Three or four months ago, right. And you could kind of give them a little bit the benefit of the doubt, because that's when it first started kind of breaking. Yes. Locally in our area. If you remember, we had some kids went to the hospital. Right. And in fact, I called you about that. We had some kids from Lafourche Parish that ended up going to the hospital. Absolutely. And so we can kind of give them the benefit of the doubt at that time, but there's no real benefit anymore. I mean, it's been publicized. It's been in all the news media. And in fact, if in fact what's happening, my understanding is it's almost like it's turned into like a black market where some of them don't have it on the shelves, but they know what you want and they'll get in the back. And right. To me, that's just as bad or worse than having it right up in the front for the general public.
That's what I'm hearing. But it's more, and we talked about it last time, it becomes a moral issue too, doesn't it?
Sure it does. Sure it does.
That's probably what irritates you the most, isn't it?
Yeah, it would. Now we thinking about it, it'd almost be like someone that sells groceries putting contaminated food on the shelf, or contaminated meat, contaminated chicken, or some product that they know has some contamination in it that's going to make somebody sick, and sell it anyway. Right. I mean, I think that's a pretty good analogy, because if you ingest this stuff, it's going to do you some harm. It's going to put you in a hospital. It could potentially kill you, and then it could also, if you don't die from it, we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be for these young people that that ingesting this stuff.
Wouldn't you really have to just get one of them, be successful at prosecuting them, and probably all of them would fall in line after that?
Yeah, but what they're telling me, and I was pleased so far, because obviously what I do as district attorney, I'm not on the road patrolling and going out, but the agent I spoke to, in fact on the way here I called him, told me that since the new legislation has come to pass, even the people that had it on the shelves, most of them have removed the product. So it's not as bad in Lafourche Parish as I think it was before, you started bringing this out to the public and we all started talking about it.
Does it also irritate you that some people just don't get it no matter what you do?
It's all about the almighty dollar, Martin. It's all about, I know.
Fathom
I'm not supporting them by any stretch. I'm giving you what it is. You're right. It's like you making a living selling crack cocaine.
Right.
Okay, that's causing harm to people. That's causing not only physical and mental harm to them, to their family, their friends, and everybody else around them, but you're going to sell it anyway. Right. So absolutely, it's more than a legal issue; it's a moral issue. And to put something on the shelves in your store as a retailer that is going to cause some harm to someone, to me, that's about as bad as it gets.
It's like, to me, where's their fear? First of all, it's been outlawed.
Yes.
Then they come right back, put it out. Are they scared of anything? Seems like they're not scared of law enforcement, not scared of prosecution. I guess we're going to have to throw one in jail to find out. Huh?
Well, that's what's going to, and I know, as I said, in Lafourche, we've talked about it. They are taking it serious, and I think what some of them are doing, what the guy was telling me on the way here, and that's a sham to the young people, to the public that's taking it. A lot of what they're packaging now really has nothing in it. They're just packaging it, and they're making believe that it's something that if you take, you're going to get a high, and they're still selling it.
So if you took it on the old illegal stuff just to keep their money.
Exactly. So young people or people are going into the stores and buying it. Mm-hmm. It really has no effect on them whatsoever, but they're still paying. Remember those little packets I brought in here that still had the price tags on them for, I think it was like $55 for a little small bag and so on. So that it's a way to make a buck.
But can't you still get them on fraud?
If they're selling it, it's called false representation is what it's called. It would be if someone sells someone a piece of crack cocaine and it's not, we can't charge them. And let's say somebody sells you or somebody else a piece of crack cocaine, and you're caught in the act, and it turns out not to be cocaine. It might be baking soda that they just wrap up and look like cocaine, or they actually take chunks of Ivory soap and chunk it up to make it look like crack cocaine and sell that to each other. And so if you get caught with that, it's called false representation. The maximum sentence on that is 5 years.
Okay.
So there is a crime for you to sell what you purport to be an illegal substance. That is called, again, it's called false representation.
Okay.
That's a crime also.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. Are y'all still going to the classroom, school starting up?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you're going to get your
Oh, yeah.
programs
Looking
going.
forward to that.
Talk a little bit about that and what y'all been doing.
We had our meetings at the office the other day, and I was pleased at the turnout that we have. We're gonna do our project lead program. You know, where we go into the sixth grade schools in the parish and talk about what I've talked about on here. You know, making decisions and you know the consequences, choices and consequences. We do our graduation program. That's going to be down the road. I enjoy going into the schools. I campaigned on that a long time ago when I ran for district attorney. I think last year I probably visited and went in and spoke at 22, 23 different schools. With, you know, just go in and do that.
It gets pretty emotional. I mean, y'all really hit him in the heart.
It does, especially the domino program that we call it a domino program that we do for the seniors around graduation, and it deals with driving while impaired. And in fact, we added texting to the program this year, which is a very powerful video that we ended up getting. Lisa Ogeron ran that program for me this year and got a good video on texting while driving and you know, because there's no way you can drive and sit there and look and text at the same time. I mean, it's just
We'll probably do our next program. I think you're coming on for the whole hour. Huh?
Okay, that's good.
At 6 o'clock.
Okay, all right.
They're taking care of you over there.
Okay.
We're to talk about texting. That would be a good.
Well, we
topic
could talk
to get
about a
into.
lot of things. I mean, I did talks in the schools last year on sexting.
Yeah.
Where these young people are taking inappropriate pictures of themselves and sending them out to people who they think are their friends.
And they're there forever.
And they, as I tell them, you know, my saying is, I said, when you put that image on there, you put that message on there, and you hit that button, I know grammatically it's not correct, but it ain't never coming back.
That's right.
It's never coming back. Right. It's out there, and somebody's going to show you that at your 20th reunion because they're going to still have it.
Yeah.
You know, and so and what's difficult though, it's difficult to get sometimes these young 12, 13, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds to understand
It won't leave you.
that there's a future. You know, in other words, what I mean by that what they're doing today, if they're putting it in an image form and sending it out over the internet, it's not coming back. It's not. You can't say, "Oops, I'm sorry" later on, or "I wish I wouldn't have done it." And we've actually had some incidents in some of the schools where it's happened, and it's also a crime now.
Really?
It's not. Yes,
Okay.
the legislature has made it a crime to disseminate. It's a crime to send it out. And if someone receives the image and they disseminate it or send the image out, they've committed a crime.
Yeah,
So it's actually has just recently, the law was amended, and it's become a crime. And then we also have cyberbullying, which is very unfortunate and can lead to some very unfortunate results for young people. Where you know, a group of kids. I mean, we've always had bullying.
Right.
I mean, you know, I went to
That
Thibodeau
goes back
College.
way back.
I started Thibodeau College in 4th grade, and it was all boys, and it went from 4th grade to seniors. So you had to hide at recess sometimes, all right, when you went 4th, 5th, and 6th
Made you
grade.
tougher, but it still wasn't right.
It wasn't right, but we've all went through it. But the cyberbullying, I've actually seen some of them that have gone through it, and it's horrible. When somebody has to go through that.
Well, we appreciate you making the drive here and staying on top.
Appreciate
of that.
you
And we're gonna
having
get
me
you.
on.
We got you for a whole hour next time.
Okay,
so,
good.
It's going to be good to get in depth about that.
Before I run, I saw your interview with Coach Albert.
Yeah.
Good interview.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you.
You know, it brought back some memories. I mean, you know.
Coach, you used to coach at Vanderbilt.
Well, he hired
Steve,
me.
Yeah.
I mean, brother was the principal, but Coach Albert's the one that actually called me a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it was good to see Gerald. He looks good, and he looks like he's doing well. And the accomplishments that you forget about.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you get away from your profession, and people they never forget, but they just don't have that vivid memory of all the accomplishments that you know, a guy like when he was coaching that he had.
He's got a heck of a legacy, doesn't
He does. He's a good guy.
It looks like
you
he
know.
still wants to coach, too.
He looks good. I haven't seen him in a long time. You know, I really haven't, and unfortunately, and we just haven't gotten together. You know, you move on, you go to different paths. But anyway, it was a good interview, and I wanted to tell you that, and wish him the best.
But you got a good record going, too, and just in closing, pretty successful record as DA of Lafourche Parish. You got to be proud of that.
Well, you know, I'd like to feel I'll leave you with this. When I got sworn in back on January the 13th, 2003, and I made the statement that when it was all said and done, if all they could say was he did a good job, I was satisfied with that. And that's all I think we ought to strive for, in life, as public officials or whatever we do. If folks, when you finish, can say, yeah, God did a pretty good job, to me, that's about as good as sometimes it gets.
You've done a pretty good job.
Well,
So I think they
it
have
remains to be
over
seen,
there.
Martin. Thank you for having me. I look forward to seeing you again next month.
Thank you, Coach. I still
All right,
call
my
him Coach. Cam Morvant, the DA of Lafourche Parish. We'll take a break. When we come back, TGMC is on the set. Dr. Rob Alexander. Don't go away.